Good evening and welcome to Prime Edition. We have the coverage of what has been happening across the country and indeed as well as in business and sports, including a warning by President William Ruto to the opposition. They need to shape up in terms of challenging him with the agenda of the country at foresight.
That's right, including our weekly feature cinemas and theatre, where tonight we center our focus on men's mental health through the film Silent Bruises.
First things first, here are tonight's highlights.
We cannot replace a plan you don't like with nothing. And I hear my brothers and sisters say, let Ruto go, then we will figure out and we will tell you what is the alternative plan later. We cannot tell you now. To me, that sounds like the wash conmanship.
Divisive slogans. President Ruto accuses opposition of balkanizing the country through divisive political sloganeering.
They are defined to be terrorists because they have committed acts of terror. And if we find them attempt to do so, even in this city, we are going to charge them for what it is.
Justifying terrorism charges. Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen says terrorism charges against protest hooligans to continue. Best among equals. Kalonzo Musyoka is the preferred 2027 opposition flag bearer, reveals latest opinion poll. And a push and pull over Isiolo Speaker's official car turns violent, with protesters burning a police tow truck.
Thank you for choosing KBC Channel 1 to inform you tonight. This is Prime Edition. I'm Doreen. Arange Lusimora is our sign language interpreter.
My name is John Jacob Kioria. You're very much welcome to the broadcast. To start us off, President William Ruto has hit out at his political opponents, accusing them of declining to accept change.
The head of state says the opposition is yet to offer an alternative agenda to that of Kenya Kwanza administration, accusing them of allegedly balkanizing Kenya through slogans.
Ruto, who spoke at the Talanta Bell ringing in Nairobi, celebrating the listing of Lindsay asset-backed security, once more charged at the opposition, whom he accused of allegedly inciting citizens against his government, even without a solid plan.
Just like those who were there before me, my time will come and I will go. Just like those who were there before me did. But respectfully, sirs, madams, let me ask you. So, what are your reasons for this Ruto must go? I'm sure it's not because of the spelling of his name.
Ruto says the opposition represents the status quo and is uncomfortable about some of the changes he says he has instituted.
We cannot replace a plan you don't like with nothing. And I hear my brothers and sisters say, let Ruto go, then we will figure out. And we will tell you what is the alternative plan later. We cannot tell you now. To me, that sounds like the wash conmanship.
He also faulted the former Chief Justice, David Maraga.
So, for 40 years, you have been working in a failed state. So, you want to be president of a failed state? Really? You want us to entrust you to the leadership of a country you don't believe in?
President Ruto insists that he remains undeterred and is solely focused on delivering his pre-election pledges to the electorate. He called on Kenyans to judge him fairly and based on his performance record.
The critics may say I am wrong. The cynics may say I am lying. And the naysayers may even say I am mad. But what if they are wrong? And they are. Pause for a moment. What if I am an agent of destiny for the transformation of our nation, whose promise has been delayed for far too long?
Police in Isiolo have launched a manhunt for protesters who torched a breakdown lorry during a chaotic standoff of a county assembly vehicle.
What began as an official recovery operation has now escalated into a fiery political dispute, pitting rival camps in a speaker's seat, a battle that's turning increasingly violent.
County Commissioner Geoffrey Omondi has accused former Speaker Mohamed Roba Koto of mobilizing supporters who forcibly removed the lorry from his compound and later set it ablaze.
Amoding insists that all perpetrators will face the full force of the law.
Police in Isiolo have intensified their search for individuals behind the torching of this breakdown lorry, a vehicle the police were using in an operation to recover the official car belonging to the County Assembly Speaker's office. The operation was meant to repossess the vehicle from former Speaker Mohamed Roba Koto, who has refused to hand it over to his court-declared successor, Abdullahi Banticha, as leadership battle between the two escalates.
So Speaker cooperate na police, akapeleka hii gari akaficha kwa residence yake, na police wakaenda na breakdown kutekeleza wajibu yao. Kufika pale kiongozi yule akamobilize wananchi, akapiga mawe gari ya polisi, karibu vio, wakiprovoke police ati wapige risasi.
A prolonged leadership crisis has rocked the Isiolo County Assembly from a failed impeachment motion against Governor Abdi Guyo to violent clashes between rival MCA camps.
So hawa wakaendelea na kumobilize watu, wakasukuma hiyo gari kwa residents, wakasukuma nje, wakachoma gari, private property ya mtu ambaye alikuwa anafanya biashara yake.
A court has since allowed Banticha to act as speaker pending the final determination of the case, but Roba has dismissed the ruling as illegitimate and vowed to fight on. Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
And in the meantime, the Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has warned that the state will not back down in the terrorism charges against individuals engaging in the torching of public infrastructure and government offices, including police stations.
The CS who spoke during Jukwaa la Usalama security tour of the North Rift region in Eldoret Uasin Gishu County said the decision lies with the courts once the cases are presented.
Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, on Wednesday hosted the Jukwaa la Usalama security tour of the North Rift edition.
Sir, may I have your permission to dismiss the court?
Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen using the platform to sustain the government's defense on the decision to prefer terrorism charges against suspects who touched Kikuyu law courts and police stations in various parts of the country.
They are defined to be terrorists because they have committed acts of terror. And if we find them attempt to do so, even in this city, we are going to charge them for what it is.
Murkomen also challenged the Law Society of Kenya to argue their case in court rather than publicly attacking the office of the Director of Public Prosecutions.
And there is no court that admits a charge that is defective. You know, there must be a prima facie evidence that shows clearly that there was burning of courts, there was burning of shops, there was cases of stealing of guns.
After a security meeting, it was also revealed that Eldoret had become a notorious ground for fraudsters scamming and suspecting Kenyans in the name of foreign jobs recruitment and study abroad programs.
We have discussed some strategies with the team on how to go forward, but even when we go back, the Inspector General of Police and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations might have to send a special investigation team to once and for all crack this issue.
The CS also put on notice political figures making insightful statements.
Some of them attempted during the 25th June protest or attempted protest and the 7th of July. And they tried to bring goons from other counties, from Nakuru, from Laikipia, from Trans Nzoia, to come and try to cause chaos in this county.
Murkomen was accompanied by Immigration PS Dr. Belio Kipsang, Deputy Inspector General of Police Gilbert Masengeli, and Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Abdi Hassan, and other top security chiefs.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has sounded a tough warning to politicians attempting to divide various communities living in Uasin Gishu County along ethnic lines for political mileage. Give us Minor, Prime Edition in Eldoret City, Uasin Gishu County.
And now more than a third of Kenyans believe Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka is the best candidate to carry the opposition's presidential flag in the 2027 general election.
This is according to a new opinion poll by the Center for African Progress, which shows that Kalonzo is emerging as the most preferred opposition figure with over 36%.
This is of respondents backing him to take on the presidential bid from William Ruto.
A political shift could be in the making. In a poll conducted by the Center for African Progress and involving 5,000 respondents across the country, 36% of Kenyans said they will prefer Kalonzo Musyoka to challenge President William Ruto in the 2027 elections. The Wiper leader, who has fight for the presidency before, now appears to be regaining momentum among opposition supporters.
Out of 5,000, 1,800 people say it should be Musyoka. That is 36%. According to them, the best candidate to lead the opposition in 2027 against William Ruto is Kalonzo Musyoka.
Coming in second is former Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, who garnered 23%, and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who secured 16%. George Natembeya and Martha Karua registered 14% and 7% respectively.
This one has been a tracking poll that we've done over the last 7 months, and at some point it was Matiang'i in January, Matiang'i in February, and March, and then of course it began going down.
Elsewhere, a section of Kenya Kwanza leaders are defending government-led empowerment drives targeting women and youth groups across the country, saying the initiatives are aimed at uplifting the lives of ordinary Kenyans.
Those who are feeling affected because of the way empowerment program is doing a good job to different groups, to different women and youth groups across the Republic of Kenya. Jameni, we're asking you, go and find an agenda which you can sell, which the people of Kenya can buy, instead of preaching propaganda.
Meanwhile, officials from DCP party in Murang'a County have condemned National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah over what they termed as indecent and disrespectful remarks against former Second Lady Pastor Dorcas Gachagua.
Sisi tumesimama kidete bila woga na tunasema Kimani tumekupe 48 hours from today. Murang'a DCP party fraternity and the leaders you are seeing here. We have given you ultimatum of 48 hours. If you don't withdraw, kama hutatoa hiyo matamshi, sisi tutakupeleka kotini.
Finally, Ruaraka Member of Parliament TJ Kajwang has dismissed Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna's statement that the ODM party is at limbo after joining broad-based government.
When he addresses the press, he could be addressing it as Senator of Nairobi or in his personal capacity. I am sure he was not addressing it as ODM because we did not send him. I am sure that he was addressing as Senator of Nairobi, which involves everybody, including people in Kenya Kwanza or these other people. But I think he needs to be understood within the context that I've said.
a legal battle is ensuing at the Milimani locus, but of course we will take that a little bit later when we come back from the shop, brother.
Yes.
In a country as diverse as ours, every voice matters. From the highlands of Kericho to the coast of Lamu, from the hustle of Nairobi to the heart of Turkana, Kenya is talking. But are we listening? What if we paused and truly heard one another? Transgenerational Conversations isn't just a talk show. It's a national mirror, a bridge between the old and the young, between heritage and hope, between 47 counties and one shared destiny. It's time to talk. It's time to listen. And it's time to transform. Transgenerational Conversation, this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. live from Catholic Social Hall, Marsabit Town, Marsabit County. Brought to you by KBC Channel 1, NCIC, UNDP, and Korea International Cooperation Agency.
Looking to advertise on KBC? KBC announcement services are now available on eCitizen. Visit kbc.ecitizen.go.ke and fill out the online application form. It's simple. 1. Complete the form. 2. Upload required documents. 3. Receive a quotation based on word count. And 4. Get notified via SMS when your announcement is ready. Please note, clearly indicate the type of announcement, service station, and all relevant details. 2. All applications must be made online only. Manual submissions will not be accepted. And 3. Announcements will air after news bulletins. For assistance, reach us on email ecitizen@kbc.co.ke or use our social media handles, Facebook, your Facebook account, and X at your X account. Or you can call us on 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124. KBC announcements. Simple, fast, and digital. The men and women in boots. They are commanded to defend and protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of the Republic of Kenya. Their bravery knows no limits.
Make a man go through the wall without breaking the wall. Laziness. It is not in our vocabulary.
But what are their stories, their tales? Military Tales, every Saturday at 9 p.m. with Ben Troy Joe.
19 nations will compete in the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania 2024, which will be staged from 2nd to 30th August 2025. Amongst the 4 groups in the tournament A to D, Kenya is pooled in Group A, together with Morocco, Angola, DR Congo, and Zambia.
Algeria from the set piece, the header is on target, but it's saved.
This unique competition featuring the best locally based players from across the continent definitely has something for everyone. Just bring your A game as you let it flow live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1, your true sports partner.
Welcome back here on Prime Edition. And now a hearing of a legal battle pitting a father and a dental facility over alleged medical negligence back in 2015 was characterized by emotional moments.
And a father is seeking justice and explained to the court how a routine dental procedure at the Eurodent Center Hospital in Westlands allegedly left his son permanently bedridden.
Our reporter Deborah Letua was at the courts today and he filed that story amongst others from the corridors of justice.
Taking to the witness stand, Michael Omburo could not hold back his tears as he recounted the day his then 7-year-old son suffered a cardiac arrest during a routine dental procedure on 28 July 2015.
Innocent 11-year-old boy didn't abuse anyone. And then justice for all this time, 2015, 2025, 10 years. Today is just a miracle. Today is a miracle for me to be here. It's a miracle.
An incident that left him bedridden to date. Now, 17, the court was informed that his condition deteriorated as a result of alleged medical negligence.
What did he do? What did he do to deserve this? Innocent 11-year-old boy.
And when the dentist, Dr. Sunil Vinayak, who performed the procedure, took the stand, he outlined the steps taken during the procedure, alleging a possible undiagnosed heart condition.
He was alerted immediately, and the first reaction is just to check that all the wires, the cables are okay. Sometimes, when you measure.
Trial Magistrate Dolphina Alego was also told that his medical license was suspended for 6 months by the Dentist Board of Management before being reinstated.
Perhaps if it drops below 60 and it goes above 100, and that will alert them. Similarly, all the other parameters on the ECG, on the oxygen levels, all this is set by the anesthetist as per what is normal.
The hearing continues on 28 July 2025. And the High Court will rule on September 18th on whether baby Samantha Pendo's case will be transferred to Kisumu, as requested by the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution.
This file will be placed before the DR Criminal Division. Any, each, or all parties are at liberty.
The case involves 4 senior police officers charged with the murder of baby Pendo in Kisumu in 2017. Letua Deborah for Prime Edition.
In the meantime, in Garissa County, Abduwak clan, the Grand Council of Elders and the Consultative Committee have endorsed former Permanent Secretary Ali Kurane for the Garissa County gubernatorial position come 2027 general elections.
Sultan Ibrahim Salat, the Abduwak Consultative Committee chairman, said Korane was endorsed after a 28-member committee from his clan settled on him among 5 other persons presented.
Already the seat has attracted several other candidates, among them a former Lagdera Member of Parliament, Mohammed Shidie, among others.
On Tuesday this week, the Abudua Consultative Committee, comprising of 28 highly esteemed members of the society, was constituted to come up with a suitable candidate among 5 represented for the Garissa County gubernatorial position come 2027 general election. The Abudua Consultative Committee Chair Sultan Deko Sambul, the Grand Council of Elders and Sultan Ibrahim Salat says the nomination was made after due process of consultations and extensive vetting of all the aspiring candidates.
Consultations on this matter. It didn't come easy. There was give and take. There was sacrifices that were made. And we are happy to report that this community is one, united, and we have all agreed to rally behind that one candidate.
The committee endorsed former Permanent Secretary Ali Korane for the Garissa County gubernatorial position in the 2027 general elections.
After doing a thorough selection and vetting of the candidates, it was unanimously agreed that one Ali Bono Korane has been unanimously agreed by all the committee members. It was a unanimous decision that he becomes a flag bearer of the community in the forthcoming 2027 for governorship.
Endorsements from clan elders often shape political outcomes in this region, helping to manage inter-clan competition by distributing key seats among various communities. Already, the seat has attracted several other candidates, among them former Lagdera Member of Parliament Mohammed Shirie, among others.
Is actually the immediate former governor of Garissa County, of course, who served one term and was felled by the current governor, Nadif Jama.
That's right. Moving on, former National Assembly Budget Committee Chair Ndindi Nyoro has faulted the government following the bell-ringing ceremony for the 44.8 billion shillings Talanta Sports City bond, calling it a form of thoughtless borrowing.
The bond was listed on the Nairobi Securities Exchange to help fund the construction of Talanta Sports City ahead of the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON.
Nyoro said the government is already deep in debt, bearing 12 trillion shillings, and was now turning to what he calls clever tricks like securitization to raise money.
He explained that this means using future government revenue to borrow money for today, something he says could burden Kenyans for years.
Kenyans have always had stadiums. We have a stadium in Kasarani. We have a stadium in Nyayo. So we have not invented building of stadiums today. There are many options that are available to Kenya currently, and I want to give you some. You know, Kenya is moving from a command kind of an economy where the government had a strong hand in the running of businesses. And therefore there are many enterprises owned by government which are not in strategic sectors or which can easily be done by the private sector. The government must explore areas like those in terms of privatization. As we sit with you here today, the government's stake in a company like Safaricom is in excess of 350 billion Kenya shillings. That is money we can actually build a road like the one we want to dual without necessarily taking in a loan and without necessarily having Kenyans to pay for the toll.
Juja Member of Parliament George Koimburi has pleaded not guilty to orchestrating his own abduction.
This is after the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, informed the court the lawmaker had managed his abduction to avoid arrest and arraignment at the Kiambu Law Courts in a land fraud case.
Koimburi, who did not take plea last Wednesday with his 6 other co-accused, said he did not conspire to defeat justice in Mugudha area, Juja Sub-County, Kiambu County on 25th May 2025.
Trial Magistrate Ben Mark Ekubi released him on a cash bail of 300,000 shillings, awaiting pre-trial.
We'll be asking the court to give proportionate bail terms to ensure that the accused person attends court. And we hope that now that he's been able to make it to court, he'll be able to make it to court frequently as directed by court.
And bail terms as that of the other accused persons. So the accused person, the first accused person may be released on a cash bail of 300,000 and then conditional upon him presenting or availing 3 contact persons. So he'll, on top of the 300,000, avail 3 contact persons. Already we have a date for mention on the 5th of August.
And over 200 youth and elders from a local community trekked for more than 80 kilometers in search of justice after their cattle were allegedly stolen grazing at the ADC Mutara in Rumuruti, Laikipia West.
That and many other stories in the county news roundup.
The latest incident saw 7 cows stolen, prompting a dramatic response from the local community. Wednesday, a large group of Rumuruti residents, armed with bows and arrows, stormed Wayume police station, demanding the return of their stolen livestock. The protest came after police allegedly released 2 suspects previously apprehended by the community, causing outrage and suspicion of collusion.
Sisi tumekuja kujitolea, hatukuita askari yoyote, tukashika watu wawili, suspect wawili, tukapeleka mpaka tukapelekea hao, alafu hao wanatoa na warudishi ripoti ya kwamba ni kwa nini aliwashilia hiyo watu.
And in Kisii County, a mission by police in Ogembo to exhume a body allegedly buried in a disputed piece of land aborted after the court order they wielded was disowned. They were ordered by the same court to appear for an inter-party hearing on July 30th, 2025.
Na sina habari kuhusu 2179. Ile namba najua na wanafaa kunirudishia mimi ni 1846. Ndio sababu nikaenda kotini kukataa ile kesi ambayo wamefanya, sijui walifanya na nani. Mimi sikupata barua kwamba nimeaitwa kwenda kotini. Walistaki mtu ambaye amekufa na mgonjwa mwenye ako kwa kitanda.
And in Taita Taveta County, the chairman of Pyrethrum Board of Kenya, Granton Samboja, while launching the Pyrethrum Revitalization Initiative, called on farmers in Kenya's coastal region to fully embrace pyrethrum farming, describing it as a game-changing economic opportunity.
We have decided to take the transformation of the pyrethrum industry in Kenya. The industry has the potential to increase export earnings, promote industrialization, and spur economic growth in Kenya.
Elsewhere in Mombasa County, climate change scientists have been urged to focus on the challenges posed by sea level rise, flooding, and heat waves that increasingly threaten lives, livelihood, and heritage, particularly in the coast region.
Kuna umuhimu sana kushikilia fuo zetu zisiporomoshwe na mmomonyoko wa ardhi, pia ziko katika hatarini. Na ndiposa tukasema wacha kongamano hili lisikue tu Kenya. Chakula kiko hatarini.
Aaron Marie, Prime Edition.
Film Silent Bruises, which is our focus tonight in cinemas and theatre, focuses on mental health awareness.
It seeks to amplify the often unheard stories behind gender-based violence, but for every case reported, several go untold due to fear, stigma, and silence.
Jacqueline Mashaya prepared this. Let's take a look.
The film Silent Bruises follows Lenny, a young man grappling with unemployment, alcoholism, and the crushing weight of societal expectations. His unresolved frustrations and emotional suppression eventually erupt into tragedy, costing him his wife and landing him in prison.
There is a no-go zone right now. This is between me and you.
We started the process last year, 2024, in around October, when the GBV and femicide cases were really high here in Kenya and also all over the world, yeah? So every day you wake up, there's new story on GBV, new story on femicide. So that's when the idea came to mind, and I called the director. His name is Zakias Mercy, and I told him, I want us to do a short film on gender-based violence.
Don't you ever think that way.
The film stars Samson as Lenny and the late Alicia Wairimo as Lisa.
When I was writing the script, I had an idea of a character in nataka. Like, I had somebody, when I showed the producer, like, this character, nataka mtu anaweza do this kind of a thing, like this lady. So nilipomonesha, then now we went through the script, can notice there are some things they can't do. So we had to go and now do the shortlisting first. So we picked a few when we know, and then we sent them some lines and asked them to audition. Then walipo revert, now we picked one from that.
Zacchaeus Mwasi, the film director, talks about the challenges the crew faced to bring the film to completion.
Before shooting, we did rec it to locations. We have a whole location up where prison. So prison kumbe, you can't just get into prison and shoot. There's a whole process of it. So we didn't manage to get prison that time. So tulitafuta best yetu fulani mwenye akona place inaka prison. Yeah, then tukatengeneza ikafit what we want. And then again we needed a hospital and an ambulance kwa hiyo set. Getting hospital na ambulance to shoot ni a whole process because unaona sasa kuna wagonjwa hapo, consent and everything. So you needed a room ya hosi yenye ni private so that our patient ako peke yake kwa hiyo room, then na ambulance. So kupata hizi vitu again ni a whole process, but through God tulipata maze. So again ni call too for filmmakers and people who are investing in film. Again we need these locations as filmmakers.
Written over the course of a month after intense research, the film crew notes that the film is more than just a film. It is a conversation starter on the intersection of gender-based violence, mental health, and the often overlooked emotional burdens carried by men.
One, I want us to break the societal pressure where a man should do this and a woman should do this. Like, it is okay not to be okay for a man, and as a woman, mostly for men, it is okay for you not to be okay, and you can always talk.
Jacqueline Masharia for Cinemas and Theatre.
And from the world of cinemas and theatres, it's time to make sense of the numbers here and on the business news here on Prime Edition. My name is Betty Kiptum. Now, the government is set to list in the Kenya Pipeline Company on the Nairobi Securities Exchange, ending years of delay. President William Ruto has said the listing of the state-owned pipeline company is awaiting approval by the cabinet next week before proceeding to parliament. The president was speaking during the bell-ringing ceremony of the 44.8 billion shilling Talanta Sports City Stadium-backed infrastructure bond at the Nairobi Securities Exchange.
For more than a decade, the Privatization Commission has been working on a plan to float 50% of Kenya's pipeline company shares on the Nairobi Securities Exchange. KPC is one of the state-owned companies listed for sale to the public through the Nairobi Securities Exchange, ending years of IPO drought on the bourse.
While other nations in the region have moved boldly and strategically to divest and reinvigorate their economies, Kenya has not undertaken a single privatization in over a decade. That is about to change.
President William Ruto said the listing of the state corporation is necessary to eliminate inefficiencies and raise the standards of governance.
The National Treasury is developing a minimum disclosure and listing framework for all public interest entities operating in Kenya. We are raising the bar to require public entities to begin disclosing standardized financial and operational data in line with capital markets standards. Within 1 year of initial disclosure, they will be required to list at least 20% of their equity on the NSE.
Privatization of government-owned enterprises ushers in the private sector to take over the commercial activities that government-owned enterprises are undertaking. This is necessary because the private sector carries out commercial activities more efficiently than the public sector, especially in a competitive industry.
If approved, KPC will join Safaricom, Kenya Electricity Generating Company, KenGen, and Kenya Commercial Bank as some of the successful state-owned enterprises to be listed. President Ruto made the remarks during the bell-ringing ceremony to mark the listing of the Lindsay 003 infrastructure asset-backed security, the first of its kind in Kenya, which raised over 44 billion shillings at the Nairobi Securities Exchange on Wednesday.
Because the science behind linking up risk, return, and impact is one of the most innovative solutions, not new in the world, but very difficult sometimes because capital is a coward.
The bond was issued by Lindsay Fiscal Trust, a subsidiary of Liaison Group. President Ruto has pointed out that the strong recovery of the NSE, with market capitalization now standing at 2.5 trillion shillings, reflects the soundness and recovery of the Kenyan economy. Wairi Mujenga for Prime Edition.
The government plans to lease idle government land to private investors to grow yellow maize in a bid to lower soaring livestock feed costs. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe says the move aims to curb reliance on imported yellow maize and protect expensive white maize for human consumption.
Kenya is currently facing a rising livestock feed prices. Currently, a 70-kilogram bag of dairy meal is retailing at almost 3,000 shillings, while Layers Mash is almost selling at 4,000 per bag. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe says the surge is largely driven by competition for white maize, global grain shortages, and high import taxes.
So we want to grow specific foods for our dairy, cattle, and our livestock, so that we can then bring it to a cheaper product.
However, with government-leased land now earmarked for local yellow maize production, the pressure could finally ease, unlocking employment opportunities and underused agricultural land.
We want to lease government land kwa wale ambao wangependa kufanya kazi na hiyo mashamba, ambao wanaweza kufanya large scale farming for yellow maize. Ndio hiyo mahindi ya yellow iwe inatengeneza chakula ya nini? Ya ng'ombe. Tutengeneze yellow maize, we make cattle feed. Ndio hii mahindi ingine na sisi tunakula.
At the same time, the CS defended the government's plan to privatize the sugar and animal health subsectors as a way of revitalizing the industry. Kagwe said that contrary to public criticism, the government is only keen on increasing efficiency in the subsectors.
Our job is not to support a particular factory. Our job is to support all the farming community, whether they benefit through the private sector or they benefit through the government.
Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and Wilson Airport are set to undergo major upgrades in a new modernization plan by the Kenya Airports Authority. Under a new integrated master plan, the two aviation hubs will see development and expansion of runways, drainage, taxiways, aprons, and new operation centers. KAA Chair Caleb Kositany says the new upgrades will entrench Kenya's position as the regional aviation hub.
Kenya's two biggest and busiest airports are facing a crisis due to years of underinvestment and disrepair. Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, which is the region's busiest airport, is bursting at the seams due to high passenger numbers, due to stalled expansion plans and poor patch-up works. Wilson, which is the oldest airdrome in Kenya, is also facing an expansion crisis due to limited space and aging infrastructure. This has led to poor lighting, leaky roofs, and a poor state of runways.
So at the moment, I can say that at Wilson Airport, the passenger experience is not up to the international standards. However, with the rehabilitation, we are hoping that the same facilities that we have at JKA will also be replicated at Wilson Airport.
To address the problem, the Kenya Airports Authority is banking on a proposed rehabilitation of Wilson Airport runways and operational sustainability to increase efficiency.
but we want to put up a state-of-the-art facility that will represent what we as Kenya are, that will represent our strength economically, that will represent the growth that we envisage through the government of the day, and even any government that may come in future.
KAA Board Chairman Caleb Kostani says both runways at Wilson Airport, the critical infrastructure upgrade is aimed at enhancing operational safety, efficiency and capacity for the busiest domestic hubs in East Africa.
More and more airlines are operating out of Wilson Airport, so of course there is a constraint. So the rehabilitation will help reduce the congestion that is currently being faced by most of the operators.
Stakeholders have also raised substantial concerns about flight path encroachment due to unsafe multi-story buildings and commercial developments infringing into designated flight funnels. This comes in the wake of urgent calls for enforcement of aviation zoning laws and reclamation of protected land. Public participation continues on the strategic environmental and social assessment. Regina Manyara reporting for KBC Channel 1.
And that is the business news we had for you this evening. I will hand you back to JJ Kioria for more news, of course, with Doreen Arange. My name is Betty Kiptum. Have yourself a lovely night. Bye-bye.
All right, time for us now to take some stud story that happened today in Kiambu County in a somber mood engulfed Nyamweru village in Lari constituency, Kiambu County, as hundreds of mourners gathered to bid a final farewell to popular content creator Zakaria Kariuki, better known as KK Mwenyewe.
Zakaria Kariuki, who shot to national fame for his humorous impersonations of former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, was laid to rest Wednesday amid an outpouring of grief from fans, family and fellow content creators.
He passed away after a short illness.
His mother, Dorcas Waithera, eulogized her son as one who brought laughter, brought contentment in the hearts of many.
Digital strategist Dennis Itumbi pledged government's support for the content creation industry.
Religious leaders who presided over the burial ceremony took the moment to reflect on the nation's broader struggles.
They called on Kenyans to stay united and prayerful amid rising frustration and hardship, warning that the country is at a crossroads.
Your gift of making people smile, for making even strangers feel seen and heard with your purpose, with passion, and with a joy that was contagious. Rest well, my son.
Na jambo hawa content creators wana face ni vile ambavyo watapata pesa kwa ile content ambayo wame create. Jambo la kwanza ni monetization, which has been done kwa platform zote isipokuwa TikTok, ile ambayo bado tunaongea nao ili kuhakikisha kwamba kuna monetization.
Na ndio maana katika ubunifu wake amekuwa kibuni kwa ajili ya kufanya nini? Kuweza kuelimisha jamii, kwa ajili ya kuweza kukosoa mahali ambapo kumekuwa mambo hayaendi sawa. Hiyo ni njia ambayo inadhihirisha wazi kwamba Mungu kupitia kwa njia hii ya Zakaria ameweza kutimiza wajibu wake.
Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco.
Feel the pulse of a continent, where Africa's fiercest women warriors clash for glory in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024. Africa's top teams, one crown. Morocco hosts once more. ready to etch new legends into history. Rising stars, one stage to shine.
And it is the Copper Queen. They have been waiting for this moment. Here's a chance for a second. South African lead by 2 goals to 0 in this final, and he'll never higher.
This is more than football, it's African excellence. It's women's power. Don't miss WAFCON 2024, live from Morocco.
Yeah, of course, we have Chan coming up next month, in 2 weeks' time. So, and let's rally behind our team, Harambee Stars, so that they do so well, because we expect them to do well because we are in our home soil. So, and of course, we wish them all the very best. I think they have a very good coach who has played in the Premier League and has been a coach to a top team in England. So I think they have now, they have a good coach. So what they have to do is do their best. We will support them. Of course, maybe we will be watching on KBC because most of us maybe will be outside the country for training camp. Yeah.
It is time for me to walk you through the day's sports and Bernardo Kumu. Let's begin with soccer, where the national soccer team Harambee Stars head coach Benny McCarthy says they are fully focused on their debut next week in the African Nations Championship after pulling out of the Four Nations pre-CHAN tournament, adding that they are not scared of their opponent despite being drawn in what's perceived to be a group of death. Harambee Stars will kick off their campaign on the 3rd of August against two-time winners Democratic Republic of Congo before they play Angola, Morocco and Zambia. Frederick Moki takes us through the Harambee Stars preparations.
Harambee Stars are determined to prove to their home fans that they will not be there to make up the numbers in the 2024 African Nations Championship CHAN. Despite their first appearances, they want to make a good account of themselves too. The team is back to their training ground at Nyayo after pulling out of the Four Nations Sekafa tournament in Tanzania, with head coach Benny McCarthy all focused on the task ahead, where they hope to impress in front of home fans.
Group that we're in, it's a group of death, and if we're not properly prepared, we're going to have shortcomings, and people will ask questions. And I feel that, we didn't want to make any excuses why, if we have difficulties in the group stages, why is that?
I'm lucky that most of the midfielders called up for the national team may play now at some point. So na feel hiyo jelly haiko mbaya sana because at some point tumecheza nao. So
the team has a blend of youthful and experienced players.
Ni tu kuwa psyched up, kusaidia hao wengine, pia kuwapatia moral, kuwa motivate, hakuna kitu ngumu, ni part of learning.
Sasa mimi siweki kwa mind mashabiki vitu za wanaongea hapo hivyo. Najua ukisikiza huko nje hakuna ball utacheza. So mimi na focus tu na ball yangu.
Harambee Stars will be seeking to show a stellar performance in front of home fans as they will be facing the Democratic Republic of Congo in their match opener at Kasarani Stadium on 3rd of August. Reporting for Prime Edition from Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi, my name is Frederick Mwaki.
And still on CHAN, Cabinet Secretary for Sports Salim Mvurya had to answer questions at the Senate Wednesday morning about lowering the capacity of Wote Stadium, structural changes to Buhungu Stadium, and the delays in starting renovation works at Kitui Stadium, none of which will be part of the Africa Nations Championship set to kick off on the 2nd of August. The three grounds, in addition to Kiprugut Chumo in Kericho, Embu, Olkalau and Bungoma stadiums, are part of the 37 stadia under facelift, and which the government wants to complete by December this year.
Just 10 days away to the African Nation Championship kickoff, Cabinet Secretary for Sports Salim Mvurya had to face the Senate Wednesday morning to respond to their questions of Kenya's preparedness for the tournament to be co-hosted by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania. Key in their line of questioning was the state of the football grounds to be used during the month-long tournament and Harambee Stars' readiness ahead of their opening match against DRC on 3rd of August. Besides the CHAN venues, questions were also raised on stadiums that renovations are yet to start, those that have delayed or stalled, and those whose structural plans have been altered, reducing their capacities.
The people of Kakamega are waiting for you to explain why you went and destroyed the upgrading of the stadium that had been done by Governor Oparanya, and now even little things like school sports cannot take place from Bukungu.
We resolved the issues around Bukungu and the contractor is on site. Part of the stalemate was a pending bill of 627 million by the county government.
I would have wanted to hear from him telling us and the people of Wote what will be the capacity of the finished stadium.
What the field now will accommodate is around 5,000 capacity. Because of the other challenges I mentioned, it cannot hold 15,000.
With the government set to have the 37 stadiums complete before the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, another tournament to be hosted by Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, questions were also raised on the areas that have been left out of the plan, with Nairobi taking a lion's share, having 5 of the 37 stadiums.
Could the Cabinet Secretary tell this House if there's any plan for Kajiado County?
In Kajiado, we are making an assessment. We have already identified a team that is going to work with the county government to identify a site.
Serikali na mpango gani kuweza kuhakikisha kuwa Mombasa inaweza kupata stadium ambayo ni ya kimataifa ambayo inaweza kusaidia kuinua vipaji vya vijana.
What we have decided is that we will still work with the county government on a different arrangement, but still achieve an international stadium in Mombasa.
When the government visited Kericho, we played very good host. Could the minister tell us if there is any mistake that we made during hosting them that has made the government flee from that stadium and has never come back again?
When we checked the other standards, we realized that other standards cannot be accommodated, especially matters athletics. And therefore, Honorable Speaker, we are doing Cap Cadet.
Harambee Stars will open their home-based players' continental assignments against DRC on 3rd of August at the Kasarani Stadium before playing Angola 4 days later, then Morocco on the 10th of August, and finally concluding their Pool A matches against Zambia on the 17th of August. Barclay Feather, Prime Edition Sports.
From stadium construction to matter security now, where all stakeholders, including players and fans, have been guaranteed safety during the African Nations Championship set to kick off on the 2nd of August. This follows the completion of the multi-agency training on safety and security Wednesday evening at the Kasarani Stadium here in Nairobi.
From different security agencies completed a 3-day safety and security training at the Kasarani Stadium aimed at equipping them with knowledge to respond to emergencies while at the same time also practicing preventive measures. This security will be highly required at the Kasarani and Nyayo Stadia, the 2 venues that will host Group A matches of the continental event for the home-based players' CHAN.
You are now equipped not only to respond swiftly to emergencies, but also to ensure preventive vigilance. You can enforce order and uphold CAF security protocols with the highest level of professionalism, from crowd control to access screening, emergency evacuation to intelligence coordination.
This being precursor to AFCON, we shall showcase our preparedness not only on the infrastructure side, not only on the talent that we have to offer, but on the different dynamics that come with hosting this kind of crowd, as a country.
Meanwhile, Deputy Chief of Staff in charge of delivery and government efficiency in the Office of the President, Eliud Owalo, held discussions with the CS deliberating on Kenya's preparations for 2024 CHAN and the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations, the upgrading of sports stadia, and the establishment of sports academies in various parts of the country. Where Nigeria and Morocco have booked their spots in the final of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations after defeating South Africa and Ghana respectively in yesterday's semi-finals. In Casablanca, Nigeria edged past defending champion South Africa by 2-1 in a thrilling encounter. The Super Falcons took the lead in the first half via penalty, but the Bananas responded with the second half equalizer from Linda Motlalo. With the match seemingly headed for extra time, Deborah Abiodun netted a dramatic winner deep into stoppage time to send Nigeria into the final on Saturday. Meanwhile, host Morocco secured their place in the final after overcoming Ghana by 4-2 on post-match penalties following a 1-1 draw in regular time. Ghana took the lead through Stella Nyamake, but Morocco responded early in the second half with an equalizer from Sakina Ozrawi. Nigeria will face Morocco in the final on Saturday in Rabat. Catch the action live on KBC Channel 1.
She curled over the bar, and then the injury time, a lengthy chunk of injury time after her.
Back in again, he has a great chance. Oh, it's a goal. No, yes it is. Ghana have scored.
Well, and that's a wrap from the sports desk. Back to JJ and Doreen Arange.
Well, time for us to wrap up, and of course it will be interesting, particularly to watch the show that Ukumu does and his colleagues, particularly on Friday, because I would really want to know whether this group where Kenya is placed, particularly in CHAN, Kenya against Morocco, Angola, and what our chances really are in this Group A match. Will be quite interesting, and we'll be watching on Friday, right?
Of course, why not?
Absolutely.
And also, as the Kumu wrapped up, we're also wrapping up.
Yeah, we are there.
Yeah.
So, have yourself a fantastic night. My name is John Jacob Kioria.
And I'm Doreen Arange. Lucy Maura has been our sign language interpreter. Good night.
My name is Salim Vuria, the Cabinet Secretary, Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, Republic of Kenya.